Sadhana Panchakam, second stanza. Sangaha satsu vidhiyatam bhagavatah bhaktihi drida adhiyatam shantyadihi parichiyatam dridataram karmashu santyajyatam sad vidvan upasripyatam pratidinam tad paduka sevyatam brahmai kaksharam arthyatam shruti shiro vakyam samakarnyatam. In the second verse or the second stanza of Sadhana Panchakam, Shankaracharya starts from the 9th step of spiritual life. Already in the first stanza he has detailed 8 steps of spiritual life, and now he goes to the 9th step. And there he says, Sangaha satsu vidhiyatam. So, sat, people who have knowledge of spirituality, knowledge of scriptures and spirituality, people who are wise men, wise people, who are not only well versed in scriptures but also live according to the scriptures. Sangaha satsu vidhiyatam. You have to seek the company of such people. What does it mean? Now you have YouTube, you have the internet, you can get most of the texts, scriptural texts in many languages on the internet. You can also listen to video, see videos or listen to audio lectures on the internet. So, why do you need satsanga?
Guru Sona, Guru Sona.
The vibration
positive energy
of the other spiritual aspirants have an effect on it.
What is your mother tongue?
My mother tongue is Bengali, but I do not know if everyone understands Bengali.
No, that is not the point. Your mother tongue is Bengali.
Yes.
Vibration.
The vibration.
I hear so much about this vibration. What is this?
This is I think it's your spiritual aura. It's what your consciousness.
Have you seen it?
No, it's your consciousness.
Conscious.
Your chit, your consciousness is at a certain level.
Who has seen consciousness here?
But you have felt consciousness. We don't see a lot of things. We don't see oxygen in the air, but we know it is there.
Who has felt consciousness here?
Yes, I felt.
Huh?
I felt consciousness all the time.
You feel consciousness?
Yes.
How do you feel consciousness?
How do you feel? How could I describe it to you?
It's awareness. It's your awareness. I think it's how much you're aware of certain things.
How can I describe something which cannot be described?
Anyway, maybe we are caught up in words here. Anyway, you were talking about vibration. How many people can understand the vibration of another person? How many? You can understand the vibration of other people?
As soon as I pass someone, I get a feeling whether, I will be able to approach them or not.
It could be something that you are mentally constructing.
That might be, but also it's how they are thinking.
Now, how can you be so sure that it is because of their thought, not because of your thought?
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
So what
It's
does it?
How I feel about you and you feel about me.
No, if it doesn't matter.
Whether it's right or wrong, but that's how I feel about you. And so you are feeling about me.
No, it does matter. That's why we talk about misunderstandings. Else why we should talk about misunderstanding?
I mean, you are changing subject. It's not misunderstanding we are talking about.
No, when people don't feel properly about the other person, that is when misunderstanding comes into play.
That's true.
So it does matter how you feel about others. You may be feeling wrongly about others without any ground. Even though a person means well, you may be feeling badly about that person. It happens all the time. So it does matter how you feel about somebody. Anyway, people mostly talk fashionably about aura and vibration, etc. But the fact remains that most people, almost all people, cannot understand the vibration or whatever it is, because you are not equipped to understand. What is the equipment? First of all, you don't even understand your own mind. Most people have not controlled their mind. That's a fact. And without that, first of all, not understanding yourself, how is it that you can understand other people? So people do make claims, and this is something which mostly people make on very flimsy grounds. When they come to our ashrama or they enter a temple, any temple for that matter, they say the vibration here is very good. Now what did that person understand about the vibration? Because when you see that person's activities in other times, we find that that doesn't match, that doesn't tally with that person's utterances. Maybe that person is always speaking untruth, is living a life which does not care about any discipline or anything. So just saying that I felt some vibration here or in this place, there is wonderful vibration, it sounds good, and maybe it can become a very good textual matter to be printed or to be told somewhere, but mostly it does not have any truth. So saying that I can understand the vibration of someone is difficult. And here we are talking about people who are spiritual aspirants, not people who have attained the spiritual goal of realizing God or self or whatever, but people who are aspirants, who are beginners or who are trying to attain. May not be beginners, but who are trying to attain. So the idea here is not just vibration. Swamiji, when he was talking about spiritual instruction, he said, what is the difference between spiritual teaching and ordinary empirical teaching? A person who teaches physics, it is sufficient if that person knows physics. Or if a person is teaching mathematics, it's sufficient if that person has got the knowledge of mathematics. You don't see the person's behavior, whether the person is telling the truth or not, etc. But a person who is teaching spirituality needs to practice what that person is talking. So only when you come in touch with that person, in person, personally, when you interact with that person, you understand whether that person is actually practicing what that person is talking about. And you also understand how to practice it yourself. So Swamiji says that when a person gives spiritual teaching, a part of that person goes to the student. So Guru, a part of that person, part of that person's austerity, a part of that person's understanding, a part of that person's spiritual disciplines go to the disciple, to the student.
Lighted candle can only light another candle.
So that is the idea. So that is why you have to be in the company of good people. So we see all the time that there are people who claim to have known things, claim to have seen God, etc. But we also see that all you need to disturb that person is a very small thing. You tell that and that person gets disturbed, quite visibly so. So that means that person has not controlled the mind, and so how can that person claim to have realized God? Anyway, so here the biggest question is, how do we understand that the person is holy? This is a big question, because this is a age of advertisement, branding, packaging, etc. So if there is a event manager who will put posters of some god person coming to the town and then with a beatific smile and all that, and then like this and talking in a very measured tone. Everyone wants to go to such a God person. They don't bother what that person actually is. Nobody bothers. And if you have to give, say, money like 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees to have even an audience, then that person, that is where people go. That is where thousands of people go to get one audience of such a person. Why? Because glamour. Glamour, glitz and glamour is what people respect. Generally. Not all, but most people respect. So how do you know that a person is a wise person? Sri Ramakrishna, in his simple way in the gospel, he says that anybody who is wearing so many malas, that Rudraksha, Sphatiga and all that, and then is having so much of tilak and all, and wearing wooden sandals, don't believe that person. He says, don't believe that person. Idea is, anyone who is after external glitz and glamour, don't believe that person as a spiritual personage, because that person is not spiritual. Because as Swamiji said, you cannot worship God and mammon together. So if a person says that this world is also true in the sense of sense enjoyments and God is also true, that person is not knowing what that person is talking. It is not possible to have both as true. So anyway, there have been, and that is what sells, that is what sells. People want to know, live your life, enjoy your life, and then also think of God. That is the teaching everyone wants. Nobody, if Sri Ramakrishna will say, give up lust and greed. So that's a big thing for most people. So this is what you have to do. So how do you understand that a person is Sat? First you have to see the what that person is teaching and whether that tallies with what has been told over the ages across religious traditions. If it does not tally, then you should understand that there is something wrong. And also then you have to go to that person, see that person, the behavior, etc. Sri Ramakrishna very well said that see a saint in the day and also in the night. And then you decide. And then afterwards what? Bhagavata hai bhakti dridha adhiyatam. So you have to cultivate steady devotion to Lord. Dridha, steady, bhakti, devotion to the Lord, Bhagavata, adhiyatam, cultivate. You have to cultivate steady devotion to Lord. So what is steady devotion? That if you think that Lord is everything, or from the perspective of Advaita Vedanta, if you think Brahman is everything, then you should not bother, you should not get perturbed, or you should not depend on something which is not godly or something which is not real, which is unreal. So you should not depend on that. People, they say God is there, but they depend on what? Their bank balance or their MasterCard or whatever. So they depend on money. They are always depending on money because something happens to money, they get disturbed. So if you don't have surrendered to God, just parroting that God is there doesn't make any sense. So this is what steady devotion. This is what steady devotion is. Steady devotion is you cultivate devotion and that should not waver. No matter what kind of suffering you have, you should hold on. It's called Ekanishtha, one-pointed devotion. Then Shantyadi Parichiyatam. Then not only this, you have to also cultivate the qualities of what are called as Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti. So what are they? 6 qualities. Shama, that is controlling the mind. Dhamma, controlling the sense organs. Uparati, removing your mind from sense objects. And Samadhana, concentrating mind on the ultimate reality or God. Then Titiksha. Titiksha is forbearance. In Vivek Chudamani it is told, Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sahatitisha nigadyate. That means you will forbear all suffering without reacting. Apratikara, without reacting. And that most people can do because of circumstances. Suppose your boss is scolding you, most people, they will not react because they are afraid that they will lose the job. But chinta vilapa rahitam, that you should not worry and you should not lament. Vilapa also should not be there. Then Shraddha. Shraddha means having belief, faith in the scriptures and in the teachers. So these are the 6 things which you have to cultivate. Before that, you have Sadhana Chatushtaya, which is Viveka, means discernment, what is real and what is unreal. Then dispassion, Vairagya. Then this Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti and Mumukshutva, desire to get liberation. Most people don't want liberation. Everyone is happy. I am happy in this life. Why bother about spirituality? Because I am happy. So who says this body is unreal, etc.? They will say that no, this body is not unreal because that is what I see in front of me. So how can you say that this body is unreal? So this is the 11th step you have to cultivate. That is the cultivation of these qualities. Then Dridataram Karmashu Santyajyatam. And you have to, this has been talked of in the earlier verse also, you have to firmly give up karmashu. You have to give up actions which are performed with a desire. Desire. Actions done with desire, you have to give up. You have to give up actions done with desire. All actions which are called kamya karma, that you have to give up. Santyajyata means you have to give up completely. You have to give them completely. So, also actions which are coming out of good desire. Good desire means I will help someone. I will do this to someone. So now the question is, a person who is not doing anything good, for that person that is good. At least let that person do something good. This is about people who want to go beyond all duality. They should essentially even give up good desires also. Bad desires and also good desires. Sad vidwan upasripyatam pratidinam tat paduka sevyatam. So you should approach a person who is sad vidwan. Who is that? A person who is upasripyata means approach. A person who is capable of telling you the true import of Vedanta. True import of Vedanta. What is Vedanta? That a person who is capable of telling you what is the true import of Vedanta? Or that this microcosm and macrocosm are one, essentially one. And the individual soul and the ultimate reality are one. This is the import of Vedanta. Now a person who understands that and tells you that, that person you have to approach, upasripyata, and you have to serve the paduka of that person, means the feet of that person. Okay. Feet of that person. Now why should somebody say this? Why should someone serve the feet of a teacher?
To let go of your own ego, to break your own ego.
Yes, rightly said. To break your own, your ego. So mostly our problem is our ego. You just tell someone something, then that person will keep on arguing. In fact, this happens funnily even for facts. Suppose you say that there is a reptile called Komodo dragon. Have you seen Komodo dragon?
Only on the TV.
On the internet. I have also seen only on the internet. Anyway, so Komodo dragon. Now that person says, no, There is no such reptile. Most people talk and waste their time on facts which could be now, of course, easily verified on the internet or using any other literature like encyclopedia, etc. So, but they will go on arguing about this. And this happens all the time. They will say, oh, in that movie, that was the actor. No, ye wala actor tha. But that goes on. Wasting time. Mostly wasting time. Why? Because even if you show that no, this is there, then that person will say, oh, you were talking about Komodo dragon. I was thinking a dragon, some other thing. Even then that person cannot accept that I made a mistake. Sorry. Recently, one video was making rounds on the internet about how to say sorry. So, to get sorry from someone is a heavy task. Nobody wants to apologize. Even if they apologize, they say, oh, tumhe sorry sunna na, sorry. Means you want to, sorry sunte jao to, theek hai, sorry. Means you want to hear sorry, so okay, I am telling you sorry. Not shedding one's ego. So, ego is so huge that the person will not accept that this is my mistake. Forgetting that that person may die soon. But that we forget. Oh, he has become afraid. His face is becoming...
No, I'm not afraid because every time I go on my flight, I always think about this. You could always die that day.
That is, flights are places where people are afraid of death, but statistics says that this is the most safest form of transport. Flying. But people are always afraid.
Yeah, but I had some bad incidents.
No, bad incidents, but even
that
then.
That is the safest, that's true.
That's the safest.
The road kills more people than air.
So it is the safest thing, but still people are afraid of that. And of course. So anyway, so tat paduka sevyatam brahmai kaksharam arthyatam. So brahmai kaksharam arthyatam. You have to understand the true meaning of Brahman, which is one, and which is Akshara, which is indestructible. That you have to understand from whom? From this teacher. Brahmaika Aksharam Arthyatam. Arthyatam means understand. And Shruti Shirovakyam Samakarnyatam. Akarnyatam means you properly hear and assimilate. What? Shruti Shirovakyam. That means the choicest or the essence of Shruti, scriptures. What are the essence of scriptures? Mahavakyas. Mahavakyas. So, what are Mahavakyas? Any Vakya which tells you that this microcosm and macrocosm is one, or that the individual soul and Brahman or God is essentially identical, that you have to Samakarnyatam. Akarnyatam means listening. Sama Akarnyatam means properly listening. So if you tell somebody something, theek hai, then you have asked that person to bring 1 kilo arhar ka dal, that person comes up with moong ka dal. Then you said, I told you, no, then that person was going, okay, dal, okay, dal. Then there he went to the market and forgot whether it was moong ka dal or arhar ka dal. So similarly, it happens all the time. We don't listen properly. So listen properly to the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads. That is the thing. So this is what is being told in the, so this is the, up to the 16th step is being explained in the second stanza of Sadhana Panchakam. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.